This is day 13 with this little buckskin stud colt. He's right where he needs to be. All the body parts that we've got broke loose are coming right on track. This colt could make a really nice in-hand trail prospect also. I'm not sure if Janet's got their ABRA papers or not, but a person could contact her and ask. But both of these colts could do in-hand trail at the yearling class in the ABRA easy enough. All their parts are coming along. They're getting quieter every day. What we'll do is we'll turn them out. I've said this a whole bunch of times, and if they are going to go to somebody that wants to show them at the World Show, you catch them up in January or February. It'll take hardly no time at all to get them back on track. But you sure don't want to teach them and grind on them on these obstacles when they're this young. I've seen people show weanlings before, and I've never seen anybody put that much pressure on a weanling and have it turn out good. The way we do it here, at least they're a yearling before we catch them up and push on them. We don't push on them that hard. We catch them up quick enough to where we can do a little bit before that first show. They got a lot of days on them. So that's something to keep in mind. We're just going to play with him a little. See what happens. My old flag's getting kind of wet. That's the nature of this time of year. Have it not be a big deal, no matter what. Maybe so we'll move this shoulder. There. Send him around. Now I might move that hip and then send that shoulder around. There, very nice. When you do it that way, it lets them get that hind leg up underneath them, and then that pressure on their jaw, right there, step across. That pressure on the jaw tells them to step across. But you got their body set up in a position to where they can step across. They're not ever going to be able to move that front end if the back legs are all spread out. You got to have some way to get that hind leg up underneath them, somewhat like a rollback, and you can do that right here. Push that hip over, and then step the shoulder across. We'll do it again. Push that hip over, and then step that shoulder across. Now we'll see. Stop. You notice I didn't make that trot too long? If you think you're only going to get a couple of steps, don't let it degenerate to where you got to pull on it, because pulling don't work. There, that's how that's done. And they stop when you stop. Rub them for being good. Send them. slow down. They slow down. You stop. They stop. I'm going to make him back up just a little bit. Rub on him. Be good. There's no place in this for pulling them forward. I can't say that enough. When these little baby horses, when you're going somewhere, if they stick, don't pull them. That'll make the sticking worse. You have to send them and then hook them and go. Try to hook that, if you're on the left side, try to make that stimulus. If you push on the left side, the right foot should move, and vice versa. See, they're following this hand. If I stop, they stop, and you rub them. That's a big lesson for this little guy. But if you're pulling on them to make them do that stuff, you're hurting yourself. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And we did all that with forward motion. That'll come back to pay you dividends someday. That forward motion. Maybe so. Have this little guy come up to me. Let him catch me. So now he knows, or he's starting to. The more time he spends next to me, the less work there is. Now, if I can guide him with my free hand, see my finger? I'm going to help him. I'm going to stop. There. See how I used my flag to help me? Be able to stop and step over just like that, and then walk off. Make it all be about forward motion. You stop, they stop. There's the reward. If you'll notice, when we're working with these babies, these weanlings, we'll do just a little bit and then we'll stop and rub on them. The more time you spend with them like this, the more you're developing that want to stay with you kind of a deal. And that will pay you back. The first time you're riding them and something scares them to death, if they know they're with you and they'll be all right, maybe so they won't run off to the neighbors. Maybe so they'll just let you pick up on them and look at you and shut it down. Doesn't take long. With these babies, if you go slow and correct, I guarantee you if you go slow and correct, you'll get done twice as fast and you'll go twice as far. Follow that hand. Stop. Motion. There. And we'll come along through here. And maybe step that. See that jaw pressure? Steps that front end over, doesn't it? old pile of logs right there, there's nothing measured out. They have to adjust their own feet. That's their job. There'll be plenty of time to get them across the perfect walk or a perfect trot over. Right now, they got to pay attention to where I am and where their feet are. That is their job. Nice. See my hand? That's the beginning. That's how you get them through those trail courses with 1.5 feet afloat in your line. If that's not important to you, you don't have to do it this way. We've had pretty good luck doing it that way. We don't even put them in a shanked halter until after we can get them through the courses in this rope halter. And then if it's an open show, we still leave them in the rope halter. But if it's a breed show, we'll take the time to almost two-rein them over into that shanked halter. But we sure don't train in them. I don't believe that the pull comes from the right spot. But that is me looking at it from the point of view of everything I do with these babies relates to the saddle. If I pull to the left, I want that head to move to the left. If I pull to the right, I want that head to move to the right. Just off that jaw pressure, these rope halters are just like a hackamore. And so the pulls and the way they feel directly relate to the saddle work. But that's down the line. But if we get all these things broke loose, and maybe if this colt got hauled to a year's worth of in-hand trail and got hauled all summer, bathed and clipped and trailered, how far along will he be January next year when they first put the saddle on him? Piece of cake. Ah. Right here, that's his first cinch. Release it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release that. Do it again. Pull. Count to 10 in your brain. And release it. Now this colt's getting cinched up. These are things that we'll start doing pretty steady when we start showing the in-hand trail. But I'm just showing you that if you use your brain and think, you can get all of the deal out of the way before that first ride or before that first saddle. That's what this weanling program is all about. That's all we're going to do with old Bucky today. I hope this stuff's helping you.